So The Acolyte was terrible.
What a bold statement, John,
I know, that's
right out the bat.
Hot take.
Whoa.
Hot take Monday. And it got canceled. But, you know, a lot of people, understandably so, thought it got canceled because it was terrible. You'd be forgiven if you believed that. Of course you would be. Turns out that's not why it was canceled. The other reason we kind of suspected why it got canceled is why it got canceled. The viewership data. This coming to us from Screen Rant, who's pointing out the Acolyte's cancellation explained by shocking new viewership data. So these numbers came out. Now, you guys remember, we've talked a lot on the show about how, you know, it's trajectory with a show, right? Like, do you have pretty much the same number of viewers? Does your viewership go up week over week like it did for Agatha and Skeleton Crew? Or does it go down? This chart kind of shows us that from episode 1, that was just under 2.5 million viewers, to the finale that had under 1 million viewers, the viewership of Acolyte dropped by more than half. And you can see now there was that one little bit in the middle. Remember they had the one episode that was pretty good? They were like, oh, maybe this isn't going to be so bad. So it had a little bit of interest there, but then it fell right back down. At the end of the day, you know, somebody was asking me why I thought Skeleton Crew, I don't think it'll get renewed, but why I believe it has a chance at being renewed. Because remember, the only viewership data we had for it was its first week, and it wasn't strong. Nobody expected it to be. But the key was, from what we heard from the industry sources, was that every week their viewership was going up. See, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
The show could have been terrible, and it was, Acolyte. The show could have been terrible. If the viewership stayed steady, or if it had gone up out of morbid curiosity or what have you, guess what? They would have announced a green light for season 2. And I think that's why there is a chance Skeleton Crew gets a season 2, and why maybe they thought of Agatha as being a, you know, a standalone limited series. They changed it to season 1, maybe because of that viewership. Anyway, Rob, you see the viewership data for Acolyte. Any surprise there that people were bailing out on it? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. January always feels like recovery mode, doesn't it? I mean, after all the holiday fun and, let's be honest, all the holiday spending, it can feel like a credit hangover. But don't worry, I've got the perfect solution to help you bounce back in 2025. Kikoff, the #1 credit building app in the App Store. Kikoff is a total game changer if you're looking to start building or improving your credit. Their plans? They start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Everybody's been there, guys. Trying to navigate credit can feel like a maze, but Kikoff makes it easy. You can sign up in minutes on your phone and be instantly set up with a credit line designed specifically for building credit, not for spending. And here's a fun fact. If your credit's under 600, you could jump around 28 points in your first month. It's that simple. Shake off the credit hangover and look forward to brighter credit with Kikoff. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea today. That's getkikoff, KIKOFF.com/Campea. Must sign up via kikoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Points out based on Equifax VantageScore 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
No, I mean, the viewers have spoken. You know, I find it strange, John. Shows used to be made with an audience in mind. And I feel that these Star Wars shows, I mean, Skeleton Crew, actually, I finally finished it. It was fun.
I really like
You know, it
Skeleton
was
Crew.
fun. It was a fun show. And I'm like, it maybe because it was removed from the Skywalker saga, but the Acolyte, I just, from the time the opening scene to the end, I'm like, who is this for? Why am I supposed to watch this?
I mean, we were excited about it when we first heard about the whole concept of doing it from the perspective, which, by the way, they didn't deliver on, from the perspective of the dark side and stuff like that. So, I mean, Chris, I was one of the people who tapped out of the show.
I stuck it out.
Yeah, you did.
I'm committed.
So you were one of those under 1 million who were still there at the end.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by this? I mean, I'm not surprised the viewership were down. I'm a little surprised by how drastically it dropped from episode 1 to the finale. How do you see this?
I mean, genuinely, I figured the Manny Jacinto thirst traps would have spiked the viewership on certain episodes.
Darth Bay.
They were good.
Darth Bay.
Yeah.
Darth Bay was so great. His stuff was so great. He was so wonderful in the role. And once we let him actually do stuff and have amazing fight choreography and really dive into this, the show got potentially good of, can I just have this? Can I focus on this story? So much of what was happening in the show was just projected so early on too. Like the whole twist of things was, yeah, obviously this is what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. Star Wars, you should be able to suspend your disbelief, right? It was really hard with this show. It was really, really hard for me to do that. And I think that this goes back to kind of the problem that Marvel has had, Star Wars has a little bit of here of, hey, we don't need all these TV shows and things. We don't need a whole bunch of stuff. We want quality, not quantity. Now, to me, Skeleton Crew was that quality kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it. They were short episodes. I wish they were longer, but I really loved living in that world. They had a great point of view. They had a story to tell. They had really engaging characters. This one felt like it was kind of a Mad Lib of Star Wars, and it just didn't deliver.
Yeah.
You know, they tried to make it a murder mystery, which, okay, all right, yeah, let's do that.
Right.
But it was, because, you know, listen, I'll give the devil his due. There were some things about The Acolyte I dug. I thought the action sequences were actually quite strong.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll give them the flowers on that. I thought the action sequences are strong, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, when you make your show a murder mystery, and then when it comes down to it, turns out it was all a big misunderstanding. Like, I was expecting some deep laden, like, conspiracy. Nope. Turns out it was just like, we misunderstood each other.
Only Jedi's in the building.
And then it was also a deconstruction of the Jedi. You know, you're supposed to doubt the Jedi, and it's like we thought it was really going to be an examination of the Sith.
Yes.
Like, what do the Sith want? What do they hope to achieve? If you take over the galaxy, does that mean you have to fix everyone's plumbing? Like, what does that mean?
See, they could have gotten over it. Their PR department would have won big if they did that.
Yeah, I would have seen
What about public education in the Star Wars universe? Do the Sith handle that too?
No.
Then why take over?
No dumb Sith.
If you're going to explore the kind of moral ambiguity that comes with either side of the order, though, you have to do it at least as well as the video games. You can't be worse than them.
Yes.
Acolyte
they've
staff that
delivered.
says who.
Yeah.
Because the video games have done such great exploration
Yeah.
of this. And again, I always like to say I'm not an extended universe person. I don't know the novels or the comics like to the extent that you guys do. But playing those games, it was, wow, what a really cool character-driven story that deals with the true duality of good and evil and the actual ambiguity of it. That's what I wanted here.
I think that's a problem with a lot of IPs too, is that we see in these extended, quote unquote, extended universe products, whether it's video games and novels, they're dealing with the core concepts way better than they are dealing with them in the programming that we're getting that's supposed to drive all the secondary market stuff. Problem.
Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, now we're getting a pretty good objective look at the viewership data of it, and it's just, as expected, the people just started giving up on it week after week after week after week. Still, even I'm surprised by how far it dropped. What do you guys think about that? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right. With that down, guys,